As we enter the last quarter of 2024, it is about time for us to think about what will be happening in the next 12 months. From a macroeconomic perspective, I could think about three items on the menu. First is the US easing cycle. Secondly, it's about the growth outlook of China after the pledgings for more stimulus. And the last item is the US election. Now, obviously, that has something to do with the global trade and investment environment. First of all, the US easing cycle. The Fed had already started kick off the easing cycle with 50 basis point cut. Now the question is how much they were going to do it and how frequent they're going to cut. That will be the major concerns in the market for corporate treasurers and financial investors. Now, it would be 25, it would be 50, is highly data dependent. If we see a very strong non-farm payroll, then the Fed might actually be a little bit hawkish, from time to time. So we really need to keep an eye on the US economic data. Secondly is the China stimulus. And we continue to believe that and confidence in our growth forecast for 2024 with 4.9% is very close to the growth target by the Chinese authorities. But we have revised down our growth forecast for next year to 4.3%. 2025 because China has yet to convince us they have fixed the structural issue, especially for the household expectation of property price and whether China can avoid the falling into a very prolonged Japanese-style lost decade, which means that the deflationary scenario is very important. So we really need to keep an eye on how sustainable the recent stimulus and whether there's any sustainable impact on the growth outlook in the near term. Lastly is the US election. Now, of course, from the market and economic point of view, we are very concerned about any full-blown trade war will be happening if the US impose a universal tariff, not just on Chinese goods, but also to Mexico and ASEAN country, India. That will have a major impact, and the supply chain realignment by corporate or the China Plus One strategy may not be working. So we really need to keep an eye on who will win the election, what the actual trade measure the new White House will be, thinking about the trade policy towards other countries.